More international games. That's another result of these all-season meetings, and we've heard this now from Goodell a handful of times that, there was talk about, is there going to be a team in London? Is there going to be a team in Brazil? Is there going to be a team? And it appears that the league for now is just going to take teams, take games, and put them internationally. And that's the strategy for growing the sport, which is a clear focus of Roger Goodell and his commissionership. So, Coach, your thoughts on this, because we have now been to Rio. We have now seen the game in Brazil. Sao Paulo is where we were for that game. You've seen what it looks like in front of the international fans. Your thoughts on the NFL internationally and how it can work well?
Well, I think it's huge for the NFL. I think they're building their brand, and I applaud them for that. If I was still coaching, I would be concerned. I don't want to be that team that has to go overseas in the middle of the year. I like things normal, level, all the way through, and you can plan for it. Now, as a coach, you have to say, we're not going to have any built in excuses. So if we get the game, I'm not going to let the guys complain about it. But behind the scenes in the league meetings, I'd be complaining if I'm a very good team and I'm trying to compete to win a Super Bowl. I don't want my schedule disrupted in the middle of the year, even though it's going to be profitable for the league.
Yeah, and I think the league doesn't really care about that, Coach. I was a guy, I was a guy that played in the '90s. That I played in 3 international games. I went to Germany, I went to Japan, and I went to Australia. And I just think about it, Coach. I probably would have never had an opportunity as a young man to go to those different places if it weren't for the NFL and really just being over in Sao Paulo, Brazil, like you talked about, Jack, talking to the Eagles and Packers player. It really surprised me because a lot of players, when we went, they were complaining, but the Eagles, the Packers, they really embraced and appreciated the opportunity to travel to see different cultures. They were very open-minded. And these trips, they bring you closer together as a team because you spend so much time together. You really get a chance to know your DB coach or your offensive line coach or your second quarterback or your starting safety. You get a chance. And I just think it's great, man. And I don't believe that there's going to ever be a team in one of these countries where, a permanent team, but they're going to continue to just expand this. And I think it's a great thing, Coach.
Yeah, no, I loved it as a coach too when we played in the preseason in Germany or Japan. It was a fantastic opportunity. You kind of built your schedule around it. And we've seen teams go over and play those games and rebound from it in the regular season. It goes with the territory now. You have to embrace it. I wouldn't be a fan of it, but I think these teams have done a good job, and it is definitely helping the league. Jack, we were down there in Sao Paulo, and we saw all kinds of NFL jerseys. It wasn't just the teams that were playing, the Eagles and the Packers. We saw jerseys from everywhere, and that's the marketing of the league.
It almost felt like we were in either New York or
Yes.
LA with all those different jerseys, whether it was Saquon or whether it was somebody else. I mean, it was just a lot of different.
It did. It was like guys had, a Peyton Manning jersey or Tom Brady jersey. They had this jersey in the closet probably for 20 years, and you saw them breaking it out and putting it on. And I'll never forget just the pregame of when the Packers and the Eagles came on the field and the sound of, this crowd being able to see these NFL team for the first time. And then right before the opening kickoff, when we were getting ready to go catch a plane because we had 2 more games coming up or another game coming up on Sunday night, that same week, but just the sound and the roars of them finally seeing NFL football. And you step back and you go, this is the reason why you do it. I mean, this is for them to be able to feel it, to be able to feel an NFL game. And I think it's going to be really cool. Goodell was saying that they can get up to 16 regular season games internationally. Wow. If it gets to that point, it's going to feel like every week that we're going to be taking at least one game. It was 9:30 a.m. kickoff, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It's really going to be a very international feeling league. And the Olympics will help with that. That's the other piece of this is now the NFL guys can play in the Olympics. Rodney, when you heard the NFL was going to allow this contractually, and you can see Tirico Hill, whoever the player may be by 2028 in the Olympics, how did you hear that news?
I would just say this. If I were a player and I was under contract and I was good enough to play in the Olympics, the only thing I would want to ensure is not necessarily my safety, coach, but guarantee my contract. If I play and I go and tear up my knee, you got to guarantee those guys their contract. And if you do that, most guys will go out there and play. If I'm an impending free agent, I'm not touching 7-on-7 because of my contract situation. But if I'm already under contract, I wouldn't mind playing because it's such a great honor to play.
Yeah, these guys are so competitive, and the chance to win a gold medal, they're obviously going to do that. As a coach, you aren't going to want them to play because you're worried about the safety of your players. But when they come to you and say, Coach, I got a chance to win a gold medal, what are you going to say? Yeah, you're going to say, go do it and win one for the country.
Yep.
That's it. I almost think about it like the NBA guys who you think they
Sure.
made a limited amount of money and they've got all the prestige on planet Earth, but there's nothing for them quite like wearing their country's flag, being on that float, opening ceremony, going into the games. It's even the guys that sometimes don't get to play that often. They're stars in the NBA and they don't even get to play that much on the national team. In the Olympics, and they still have such a great experience with that. I think you'll get that same feel from these NFL guys.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.